Hello, lovely people. New adventure unlocked. I'm headed to the next game. My mama's here. We're going to Aqua Zumba. I am getting out of my comfort zone. I am trying fencing today. I'm just there for the vibes. I know nothing about baseball. I'm there for the vibes. Hello, lovely people. Listen, Linda, listen. This episode was good. So I am reviewing season 10, episode 3, Chin Checked, okay? Because there was some chin checking going on, okay? All right, so let me say this. The episode to me started getting good towards the end. I need some quiet. All right, let me try to review this video without... Anyway, so, as usual, they start out with all the girls doing the things of the things. Now, can I say how cute Arabella is? Arabella is so cute. She's practicing for the pageant. She's got former Miss DC helping her out. That girl is cute. Now, Stacey, let me say this. You're saying that Arabella is very smart, and I do believe that Arabella is very smart, and I do think that she knows that mommy and daddy are hunching again, okay? And by the time the show comes out, you better confirm that mommy and daddy are hunching again, because she knows. Let's move on. Nothing to see here, folks. All right. And I'm telling y'all, Wendy is serving this looks this season, and I'm not even mad at her. Her stylist, I think her stylist is Janelle Welsh. Her stylist is on point. That look, that purse, like, her body is bodying. I cannot... Miss Wendy's fashions can do no wrong. She has become the fashion girl. Anyway, so they're meeting at the pier, and it's kind of a little awkward at first. They're sitting side by side, not really making eye contact. And Keiarna's like, look, I feel like you just wanted to be TV friends. Basically, Keiarna's like this. I wanted to be friends with you in real life. You only check for me when we're on TV, and I'm calling you out on your fakeness. And Wendy was being condescending in this scene because Wendy's like laughing and giggling and chuckling. Like, at the end of the day, Keiarna just wants her feelings validated, okay? She wants to know, like, hey, are you my friend in real life? But let me say this. Have y'all noticed that this season, they're really breaking the fourth wall? Keiarna straight up said, I feel like Wendy wanted to be TV friends, and that was it. But Wendy also said, I also had red flags for you from you as your friend. You don't call me as much. So Wendy's like, I backed off. But Wendy also said something very important. And this happens a lot in friendship. Wendy's like, look, the amount of hand holding that you need as a friend, I don't have the bandwidth for it as a grown woman. So basically Wendy's trying to say, look, you need me to call you all the time. You need me to check on you all the time. I don't have the bandwidth for it. We are just TV friends. Keiarna, just hear the girl, okay? She's not saying it, but hear the girl. Now, here's something that I think is very interesting. Keiarna felt away because in the last episode, when she came to sit where Wendy and Gizelle were talking, Wendy was paying her no mind. And Keiarna was like, you don't even like the girl. Keiarna, that's no news. We all know that Wendy does not like Jizzy. We know that the only reason, and Jizzy doesn't like Wendy. The only reason why they're getting along is because the producer said to them, y'all better ship up or shape up. That's it. So we know they don't like each other, right? And you notice Wendy didn't say, oh, I like her. Wendy was like, you don't even like her. And Keiarna was like, oh no, actually I do like her. So I do believe that Keiarna likes Gizelle. I know for a fact that Wendy does not like Gizelle. I mean, we've seen it. And to be honest with you, in previous seasons, it wasn't Wendy's fault. Because Wendy and Gizelle are in the same sorority. Wendy came in wanting to be Gizelle's friend, okay? But it's not until Jizzy went after Eddie, talking about, oh, the reason why Wendy got her body done is because she wanted to get Eddie's attention. That's when Wendy was like, forget these cameras. I'll F you up. And that's when things took a turn. And then Gizelle was basically treating Wendy like a second-class citizen. So this whole history with Wendy and Gizelle, it wasn't Wendy's fault. It was always Gizelle's fault. Gizelle started it. Gizelle usually starts it. I like Gizelle, but she usually starts it. Okay, so I feel like I'm missing something because Wendy's last laugh was off to me. All of a sudden, she just starts laughing. Then she's flipping the bird. And then she's like, okay, let's go. So I think it's just safe to say that y'all are TV friends or y'all are frenemies. It's weird. And Wendy is basically like, I don't know what your issue is with me. You're trying to find an issue with me where there is none. Now, in the first episode, I do feel like Keiarna was reaching with the whole, oh, you were on stage and you didn't acknowledge me. But basically what we are finding out is that Keiarna feels like, Wendy, you're not being my real friend. And she's not. So Keiarna, move on to the next person. Hello. All right. So the next scene is with Angel. I don't know how I feel about Angel, y'all. I feel like she's a season 1 girl. She's a first season girl. I try to give the first season girls some grace because they're just finding their way. You know what I mean? They're just finding their way. But basically, she tells her husband, well, first of all, they're talking about their budget is $7 million for a house. I'm like, what? But anyway, her dad is there and his mom is there. And she tells her husband that she feel away because Keiarna basically had a conversation with Gizelle about chin checking her. And the husband was like, man, chin checking is a little bit like aggressive, which I do agree. So Angel's like, you know, I've always had her back. So I don't even know why she would say that. And I feel upset about it. And guess what, Angel? You have a right to feel upset about it. All right, let's move on to Stacey. So Stacey went to a place that I've been to before. Stacey went to Circa. Their brunches are everything. Circa is where I had my first, limoncello? Martini or whatever. Oh, so good. No, I'm lying. Lemon drop martini. I had my first lemon drop martini at Circa and it was so good. Now we bring Jazzy. I like Jazzy. I feel like Jazzy did not get her just due. Now, there was a controversy about Jazzy and her NFL fiance and his baby mother. And it sounds like, was she a side chick? Was she not a side chick? The lines was real, it was real blurry. You know, like Christmas of 2023, her fiance and his baby's mother and their child took photos in matching pajamas, but then 3 months later, y'all engaged. It was all kind of messy. But I do like Jazzy. I feel like she's so pretty. She's about to be an NFL wife. She's about to be the definition of Potomac. So I hope that she is a friend of the show. She made a cameo, but I hope that she is a friend of the show. I like Jazzy. I really want her to come back. So Jazzy's talking about her wedding and is to entertain people and she's going to have tons of dresses as she should. Now, let me tell you something I like about Jazzy. Now, Stacey was telling Jazzy, word on the street is that Gizelle got a man and Gizelle and Stacey had receipts to prove it. But I like that Jazzy kind of remains neutral, right? She's not going in on Gizelle, but she's like, ooh, Gizelle, you getting that thing pop? You know, I like Jazzy. I feel like Jazzy can get along with all the girls. I feel like she'll be a good, neutral person. So I like that, Stacey apologizes to Jazzy because she feels like she was not a good friend. Now, did you catch when Jazzy was like, oh, that's such a strong title to say? I think, maybe I misread it. I think what Jazzy was saying is, friend is such a strong word or title, but I think she cleaned it up. Like, oh, don't say that. They went through that thing with Miami where Mia, oh my God, I haven't said the name in a long time. Mia went to Miami, had her birthday there, invited Jazzy and Stacey and stood them up. So they bonded over that. But Stacey tells Jazzy that, she is back with her husband and Jazzy's very supportive. See, that's the kind of friend that you need. Like somebody that's not going to judge you. Jazzy's like, oh, okay, well, you go. Jazzy's like, my grandparents were divorced and then 6 months later they got back together and they were married ever since. She's not knocking it. All right, let's move on. This scene was a little bit boring to me. I mean, this was the scene with Tia and her family. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to skip over Tia's scene. Did y'all find that interesting? I mean, basically they disagree with parenting. Tia was like, she's the stricter parent than the husband. Let's move on. All right, so we have a shopping scene. You know what? I always like when the girls go shopping because I want to see what catches their eye. I don't know where they went shopping, but anyway. So we've got Jizzy, we've got Tia, and we've got Wendy. Again, Wendy's outfit was everything. So we've got Tia, we've got Angel, we've got Wendy, and we've got Jizzy. Again, Wendy's outfit was everything. I mean, Wendy got legs for days. I mean, Wendy is killing every scene with her looks. I have not seen a bad look yet. So Angel basically says that Keiarna circled back and said, I never said chin check. Keiarna, why is it that you're gonna say chin check to Gizelle, then turn around and apologize, and then try to deny it at first? Then when Gizelle calls you out on it, you admit it, you apologize to Angel. Then when Gizelle is not around, you circle back and said, I never said it. Keiarna, what are you doing? Andrew, you need to watch out for Keiarna. Telling you need to watch out for that girl. I'm telling you, that 20 years of friendship is about to go down the drain. Mark my words. But Angel's playing it cute, I think. She's playing it cute. But Angel was like, you know, you would think that what happened with Keiarna, that she wouldn't use something like that. And if she used something like that, it's a problem, right? Talking about when Keiarna got assaulted, which was not cool, you know. And so Gizelle's like, okay, well, the next time we meet, that's going to be the first thing we talk about. Oh, let me rewind real quick. Okay, let me rewind real quick. I want to go back to the scene with Keiarna and Wendy when they were talking about Preakness. First of all, Preakness is everything in Maryland. Preakness is our own, you know, I'm in the DMV area. Preakness is our own Kentucky Derby. It is a big deal. The people come out and they're fascinators, they're fancy, 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 right? Now, let me say this. Keiarna, you said to Wendy, right? You said to Wendy, are you doing Preakness? Because I'm hosting the, basically, you know, I'm hosting the lady because you need the scene. And do you want to do it together or separate? So Wendy's like, I got my own thing going. The First Lady of Maryland invited me and I would like to host the ladies. So Keiarna, why you got an issue with it? You said we're going to do it together or separate. She wants to do it separate. What's your issue? What's your issue? All right, let's get back. Anyway, so here is my issue with Keiarna and Angel. If y'all are true friends, why are y'all talking about each other to the extra girls? I know this is a show and everything like that, but see, this is how the girls know to pick y'all apart. Because what Angel should have said was, well, Keiarna said that she didn't say chin check, and that's just something that Karen and I are gonna deal with, and we're just gonna leave it there, you know. But see, what Angel doesn't realize is you are allowing holes to be put in your friendship. But you know what? Keiarna started it first. So Angel, I can't even fault you for it because Keiarna started it first. All right, so now Keiarna is hosting a pre-game before the Preakness at her house. Okay. Oh, Gizelle tells the girls that they're going to an island. Okay. So I'm glad. I don't like the trips to Austin. I don't like the trips to in the country. Go out the country like the Beverly Hills girls do and all the other girls do. Yeah. Bravo, increase the budget. That's wonderful. All right. So we're back at Keiarna's house. Now, first of all, I don't know why Greg was there, but I'm sure that Greg was there to basically say, hey, see, look, I'm supporting her. Because as soon as you greeted everybody, Greg, you should have exited stage left. You don't live there, right? You say you go back and forth. So whatever. So Keiarna is like, you know, I'm hosting the pregame. Her condo looks very cute. Now, the first person to arrive is Stacey. Again, I feel like Stacey has gotten a new stylist. I'm really liking her looks. Now, Stacey walks in. Now, Stacey, you are doing the same thing to Keiarna that you don't want the girls to do to you. Because Stacey's like, I'm just trying to figure out what Greg is doing here because last I checked, they were broken up. And then she's asking Greg, do you live here? Do you go back and forth? And Greg is like, oh, no. Greg is like, oh, this is Keiarna's condo, but I'm just, I go back and forth. And Stacey's like, what are you doing here? Now, you're right, Stacey. What is he doing here? But at the end of the day, you need to say, you know what? They've been in my business about who I'm with and who I'm getting back with. You know what? Let me mind my business when it comes to Keiarna and who Keiarna is getting with. Stacey, you're doing the same thing that you are accusing the girls of doing to you, which is judging your relationship. Don't do that. Okay? Don't do that. I was just like, mind your business, girl. Mind your business. Anyway, so as the girls are trickling in, of course, as usual, Gizelle just got something tacky on. At this point, listen, you got to respect Gizelle. Gizelle stands on business when it comes to her style. Oh, and that reminds me. So apparently, Tia, who is Gizelle's friend, DM'd Jizzy a few years back because she heard how tacky Gizelle's style was and was like, hey, I can help you. But of course, Gizelle never responded to her DM. Look, do I think Gizelle is a tacky dresser? I don't think she's a tacky dresser. I think because she has such a pretty face, she's like, I don't need to do much. All I got to do is rely on this. You know what I mean? She just wants to rely on this. I don't think she's a tacky dresser, but I think that her style is that she just doesn't put thought into it. That's what I'll say. She doesn't put thought into it, All right, but let me say this. When Keiarna was talking about how Greg was back, I did roll my eyes. I was like, okay, Greg is back. Again, Keiarna's mama looked good, right? But again, what's Keiarna's mama doing there? You don't live there, right? And let me tell you why I had an issue with Keiarna's mom being there. Because when they started their thing, it's an unfair advantage because it's like Keiarna's mom is there kind of silently exerting herself. I can't go back, like if I'm going back and forth with someone, I can't go back and forth with your daughter knowing that you're in a corner because ultimately I feel like I'm disrespecting their mama. I just feel like the mom shouldn't have been there. Anyway, so Gizelle's like, all right, so Keiarna, Angel said that you said you didn't say chin chat. And then Keiarna apologizes again. What are we doing here? Why go back to Angel and say you didn't say it just to come back and apologize again? Because what Keiarna didn't think that Angel was going to do is Keiarna didn't think that Angel was going to circle back to Jizzy. See? And that's what I'm saying they're not real friends. Because if that's my real friend, what you and I say together, forget these cameras. We're going to be a united front. If I'm going to cuss you out, I'm going to cuss you out outside the cameras. I don't care about the cameras. But anyway, whatever. So, but Keiarna says to Angel, Angel, you have a right to feel the way that you feel. But, as soon as she said but, I said, oh Lord, here we go. She said, but whatever conversation that you had need not to happen no more. So basically, Angel, you just got chin checked again. You literally got checked. And Angel, what you should have said is, and so what's going to happen if I have that conversation again? Or again, because if y'all real friends, you should have said, Keiarna, first of all, I don't appreciate you talking to me like that, but you and I are going to have to talk at a later time. Knowing me, I probably would have been like, Keiarna, who do you think you're talking to? We need to step outside. We need to have a conversation. But Angel said nothing. But what Angel did was redirect her energy to Wendy because Wendy was like, your energy is a little bit different today. Wendy was like, basically, you said, given what had happened to Keiarna, given that, she was assaulted, like she shouldn't even be using that word. You basically said that it's going to be an issue if you find out that she used that word. Like, keep the same energy. Now, Ashley, I don't know why you feel like you had to insert yourself because you were not on that shopping trip with them. Ashley's like, well, Wendy is right because it just comes across fake if you don't keep the same energy. Ashley, you're not in this. This is not your fight. So instead of Angel really getting mad at Wendy and at Gizelle, she chooses to direct her red energy to Wendy. So Wendy's like, wow, the way you flipped on me is kind of crazy. Why are you mad at me? Why are you targeting me as opposed to all the other people that co-signed, i.e. Gizelle? Wendy, let me tell you why. Because she knows that Gizelle is the queen bee, and she can't really go after the queen bee. So it's easier to go after you. And plus, Keiarna don't even like you. So it's easier to go against you, Wendy, along with her friend Keiarna, as opposed to going towards Gizelle. She don't want no problems with Gizelle. She don't want no beef with Gizelle. That's why. Now, is that fake? Yes. And that's why I like Jazzy. You know why? Because Jazzy was not afraid of Gizelle when that whole thing happened, when they kicked them off, when Gizelle kicked them out of the event and stuff, right? So we already see where Angel's gonna go. Angel, I like you, but you're displaying weakness. You really are. Because what you should have said is, you know what, I have a problem with you, Gizelle, and I have a problem with you, Wendy. Right? So again, Keiarna's mom is acting mad. Greg is looking like, see, this is why I don't want to be around these hoes. Let me not say that. Greg is looking like, get me out of here and get me out of here now. Oh my God. So basically, Greg, I guess, wants to be, you know, Greg goes and hands Keiarna a stack of money and is like, go spend it on whatever. So they leave. Keiarna's like, thanks for breaking in my furniture. And they're like, oh, I bet you and Greg broke it in. She's like, negative. So they go on the bus or whatever, right? And we're still continuing with the foolishness, okay? Now, this is what I'm going to say. Oh, let me back up. I thought Monique was coming back this episode. Did y'all notice that? What happened? Because in the season... in last episode, they showed Monique coming back. So what happened? I guess she's coming back next episode, but next episode they're traveling. So when is Monique going to come back? Why y'all show the preview of Monique coming back if you're not going to show her? Anyway, so overall, I'll say the episode was okay. Let me say this, Tia. I don't know. I think I need to see more from Tia. So I'm not gonna. The jury's still out on Tia. Angel, I feel like you need a backbone. I feel like you need a backbone with Keiarna, and I feel like Keiarna is gonna turn on you. Actually, you know what? Scratch that. Keiarna is already turning on you because Keiarna should have never had the conversation about how she felt about you defending Wendy. Watch your back, girl. All right, y'all. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Yeah, did y'all notice anything on Wendy that maybe was on the report of the list of stolen things? Allegedly. Anyway, y'all, have a good day. Make it a great day on purpose, and I will see y'all later. Bye. Keiarna basically says at the table that Wendy likes to be, what did she say? Better, best, or first? Right? So Stacey's like, well, how is she competing with you in this moment? And Wendy's like, good question, Stacey. And Keiarna's like, oh, you know, just Wendy, she kept saying it. She likes to be, what is it, better? What is it, better, best, or first? Keiarna, that's how the lady was raised, okay? Literally a saying that the Nigerians say, right? And it says, Naija no dey carry last. That basically means Nigerians never come in last place. That's literally how she was bred, right? So yeah, Wendy is always going to try to be better, best, or first. It's literally in her DNA. It's literally her culture. You got to be the best at everything. You got to be the first at everything. Their saying is Naija, what's it? Their saying is Naija no dey carry last. Okay, that's the saying. Naija no dey carry last. Okay, so she probably has been hearing that since in the womb till now. So just accept that is just that girl, okay? Again, I get it. I'm not Nigerian, I'm from Ghana, but Africans are similar. We got to be the brightest, the best. It's literally beating down your head. So I can't really knock Wendy for it. Now, again, When it comes to like, you feel like you got to compete with your friend, you got to get the best clothes, the best this, the best, I don't agree with that. I'm only talking about in terms of work, in terms of education, right? I don't believe in stepping on somebody's toes to get to climb up. But I'm saying you are in competition with yourself. You're not in competition with everybody. You're in the competition with yourself. Okay? So I can't say I knock Wendy on that. But when it comes to petty things like Preakness and a brunch, I mean, you know. I mean, also Wendy's slogan is, I put the high in higher education. Now, again, all the stuff that she's going on legal aside, I can't comment on it. Well, I can, but I'm waiting for her day in court. You know what I mean? But when it comes to this show, yeah, you know.